Hello. Okay, so we need to talk about the serious problem we have with meat. So we all have some sort of experience with processed meat, and many people are not aware that this type of meat is very unhealthy and very harmful type of food to consume in excess. I've been guilty of consuming a lot of processed meat over the years. However, ever since I became aware of the dangers of eating processed meat, I have made changes to reconsider my diet in order to implement healthier alternatives that can ultimately lead to a healthier lifestyle. The excess consumption of processed meat causes dangerous effects on the body. And first, I will explain the causes of an excess of processed meat consumption. Then I will explain the effects that the excess has on the overall human body. Meat contains large amounts of salt, and that is why when someone eats more than the recommended daily serving, they become very dehydrated and develop a feeling called the meat sweats. This makes people perspire profusely and they tend to drink more water, and when they drink more water, it actually produces more complications for the body instead of just someone simply feeling extra thirsty. According to the National Health Service, as of April 2020, another unhealthy fat that contributes to the overall high amount of fats that processed meat contains is called saturated fat. And saturated fat is bad because it forms a type of cholesterol called low density lipoproteins, and that is made of fat and proteins. And too much of these proteins can cause a buildup of cholesterol levels, which can cause a blockage in the artery, and then the blockage in the artery will cause a strain on the heart overall. Processed meat is treated with chemical preservatives called nitrates. What makes these nitrates harmful substances is because they are carcinogenic or cancer causing. When these nitrates are used to cure meat, they are then converted to something called nitrites, and then the nitrites interact with proteins to create another protein called nitrosamine. And now nitrosamines are very harmful, and they are also carcinogenic, and they're at a different level than the nitrates originally are. Dr. Suzanne de la Monte and Ming Tong from the National Library of Medicine back in 2009 wrote an article that states that the nitrosamines cause an alkylation of the N7 chemical from guanine, and this causes the DNA strand to be either thrown off or broken down. Now that I've talked about the causes of the excess of processed meat consumptions, I will then talk about the effects that processed meat consumption has on the human body. When the body consumes too much salt, then the body needs a way to get rid of the salt, and in order to do that, they need to drink more water. And in the attempt to drink more water, it causes blood pressure levels to rise. And when blood pressure levels rise, they could put more strain and stress on the heart and the blood vessels, because the blood is exerting against the walls of the blood vessels, and it's increasing excessively, which causes the heart to pump blood more profusely. This process is actually called hypertension. Hypertension basically just means high blood pressure, and is a typical result of having too much salt in the body, and a lot of salt can come from the action of eating too much processed meat, because salt is not only used to season the meat, but it also to cure it as well, so it has a higher level. The excess amount of saturated fats found in processed meat can cause an increase in cardiovascular diseases such as strokes or heart attacks. According to the doctors of Kaiser Permanente in 2020, there is the too much of this bad cholesterol called low density lipoproteins can lead to development of blood clots. And the development of blood clots can block the arteries that carry the blood to the heart, causing people to have an increased risk for these cardiovascular diseases. Nitrosamines, which are the chemical preservatives that are used to cure meat, are also a result of the combination of nitrates, and proteins. In an article published by the Multidisciplinary Digital Publishing Institute in 2019, they stated that preservatives known to cause cancer are nitrosamines because they have mutagenic effects on the DNA strand and they generate toxic chemicals such as superoxide, which increase DNA damage. Over time, these damages directly affect the digestive system, which causes an increased risk for bowel, colorectal, and or stomach cancers. Now that we talked about the health damages of processed meat consumption, let's wrap up this speech. Today you should have learned that the excess amount of processed meat consumption can cause serious damages to health. I also told you first how the excess of processed meat consumption could cause the body to develop health issues. Then I explained how the overall effect of those issues have on the human body. Now, even though the smell of frying bacon or sizzling hot dogs may seem irresistible, remember that those dogs are doing you wrong and make a choice to find a healthier decision, a healthier alternative, and that'll do you right in the end. Thank you.
Yay!